Hi there, Justin from Brickright here again. I've just bumped into somebody, another bricklayer, within my locality around Pontypridd, and I've just been speaking to him about private jobs and then also the capacity to do your bricklaying out on site as well. So it's yeah, I suppose in terms of with bricklayers, it's always that one, isn't it? You do you work on site predominantly, or do you work on domestic private jobs, or do you dance between the two? I mean, there's a big difference, isn't there? I think there's a lot of lads, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a lot of lads who would like prefer to work on site, and then there's a lot of lads who would prefer to do the private job. So which one is the best? Which one do you do? I mean, it's a minefield, isn't it? I suppose from my own perspective, is I've worked on site. I was, house bashing back 1992 was the last time I was on site. So am I qualified to kind of speak on it a little bit, I suppose. So the basis of what I know, and from talking to this lad this morning, is, and basically based on my own experience, is when I was on site, we were predominantly working for subcontractors. You wouldn't work direct for, the house builder. You'd work to a subcontractor. And then what I was finding when I was on site was, a lot of it you would. I always used to get trouble on getting paid for my gables. They'd pay you for the lift on every house. You get your lift payments. Happy days, no problem at all. And then you get to your gables, and then they'd be dragging their heels then. And that was my kind of issue. And then obviously as a brickie on site, you're always trying to chase some money. So you're always trying to chase the different sites in terms of they're paying you a little bit more per thousand or per meter on the block work. And then, you'd get onto the site, and then they wouldn't want to pay you for your insulation and your cavities, your jab light and stuff. So yeah, there was all that type of stuff was going on, and they wouldn't pay you for for putting lintels in, and they would pay you for putting lintels in, and there was a big confusion with that. Then you had the case of a lot of the boys are putting backhanders onto the forklifts. So you'd have your forklift bringing your compo or your muck and your pallets over, and you're putting it up onto the lift, and you'd have to wait your turn, and then you'd have boys chucking in 50 quid or 20 quid to get it over to them first. You'd have that going on. Then you'd have the issues of the mixer wouldn't work, because I'm going back before silos were in now. The mixer would break down. Then you had the brickie that you were working with, he wouldn't turn up, or the labourer wouldn't turn up. But then, when you had your good days, then you could, and you were on a good run, you were able to earn pretty good money. So it'd be nice to hear from the guys that's predominantly site based what it's like out there now. Because not that I'm going to go back on site, but for the purpose of the video, and for the purpose of the just to let other people know out there who may be thinking to either dance between the two, or change direction. They would maybe want to go from site to privates, or go from privates to site, or whatever. It'd be nice to have a communication between the bricklaying community as to what your experience is on site. So I had a good experience on site, and I had a bad experience on site. The worst one was the partner that I was working with. He used to go and get the drawer on a Friday, so he used to go into the subcontractor's van and put the ticket in for our draw, for our lift or whatever, and that's what we get paid with. And he done a dirty on me. The guy I was working with, my mate, my partner in crime, he took money off the house, put it in his own back pocket, and that's when I thought, well, look, enough's enough. I've had enough of this. So I then changed direction and moved from there. And I also had an issue with back in the day with the SE60. We used to get a brown envelope on a Friday from the subby, who would kind of begged us to go and work on the site with him, which we did. We were doing a terraced house of four or six houses in a row, terraced houses, all in steps coming down. And yeah, he owed me a lot of money at the end of that, and I went chasing, couldn't find him, and he ended up owing my tax on my SE60, which he'd already taken off me, and it just got into a nightmare. So I left there, and I went to do something else. So that's my experience off site. But I did have good days on site as well. I did have days where, I was earning a couple of quid good money, but these bad things kind of put a downer on it. So then I changed direction, went into private, which is what I'm doing now. But then when you go into private, it's a whole new ball game, because, me now running my own business, dealing with my own clients, my own customers, pricing my own work. Then you've got to have your own machinery, your own cement mixers, and on all the equipment that kind of goes with it. You've got to know where to source your materials from, where the best places to sort the materials from. So, out on site, you'd be laying the bricks that the house builder or the contractors were supplying to you, and all the materials were there for you. The silos there, the mixers there, the scaffoldings there, all that type of stuff is done for you. So then when you go on to private, if you want scaffolding, well, then you got to sort that out. If you want to hire a genie to put some steels in, you got to sort that out. You got to get the steels. You got to read the structural drawings. You got to read the plans, which I know you do on site anyway. So it's a completely different ball game. You've got to be able to sell your work. You've got to be able to market your business. You've got to be able to promote it. You've got to be able to, even down to your logo and the way you come across in terms of what you're wearing and how you look and all that kind of stuff, how you conduct yourself, what work have you done before, and all these types of things come into perspective. Then when you're doing the work out on private, I find that you tend to choose your client base. You can choose the clients that you want to choose, just as the same as what they're choosing in terms of they're choosing you as a builder or a landscaper to do their job. You're choosing them as a potential client that you want to work for. So, when you've had a couple of years experience and your company's a bit better well known within the locality, you hopefully you're going to be able to choose the jobs a little bit clever and be a bit clever on who your clientele is. So yeah, I mean, you've got to learn all this along the way. I mean, I luckily, touch wood, I haven't been let down in terms of somebody owing me money or somebody ripping me off yet on privates. I've been doing privates now for, well, what did I say, since 1992. So it's a long time. I've worked for builders, I've worked for myself, I've done it all. So for me, I think I'm kind of stable now in working on private work because that's what I prefer. I don't like all the red tape on site as well, all the hard hats and all the safety equipment, and you can't wear shorts and you can't do this and you can't do that, and going on for all these introductions and all the rest of it, and the CS cards and the updates of that and all the higgledy-piggledy stuff to go on with that. But I suppose once you're doing it, it's second nature, isn't it? You just get on with it. So I still don't know where the best earning capacity is to come from. I suppose there's an argument for site work to say that you could earn a lot of money out on site work now, especially if you had like long runs and you're building boxes and stuff like that, and it's just a box and you put the profiles on and up you go. And then with private you can earn a good couple of quid doing your private jobs, but then the good jobs don't come around all the time. It's not every job. You might get one or two a year where you make a decent profit off it, and then everybody is in your area. You're going against landscapers and builders out there who are pricing up for the same job as you. So it's competitive. It's competitive, the same as what it probably is on site for the people pricing up the work on site. So let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know what you think, and it'd be good to bring bricklayers together within our industry to try and talk about this, because like I say, there's an awful lot of boys that do site work, and I've seen it on YouTube. I've seen the boys Steve and Alex, for example. I see them, and they're brilliant videos. If you haven't checked them out, please do, because they're great and informative within the bricklaying community. They do a bit of private work, and then they do a bit of site work, and they dance back and forth. And I know Steve has said, and I listened to his live chat last week, he said that he struggles to price stuff within the private sector. So, it's difficult one, isn't it? So which one do you prefer? Do you dance back and forth the two? Do you prefer site work? Do you prefer private work? I mean, leave some comments below to open a debate on it, and see where we go with it, and see if we can get more of an understanding of the two, to see to get a better direction in the future for bricklayers, to kind of what to expect if they're going to change, or if they're going to go between the two. So yeah, just a quick video on a Saturday on my way to look at a job up in Porthcawl for a client that I know quite well, my accountant. And so yeah, so stay safe, have a lovely Christmas, have a really good New Year, and hope all your family are safe and well. And I really do appreciate everybody for subscribing to the channel. It's a new channel. We're getting there. We're learning all the time. Apologies for our we don't use like a GoPro or anything like that because I don't know how to do it. So we're on our mobile phone at the moment, but I'm sure it'll get better. So yeah, let us know what you think. And like I say, have a good Christmas. I'm babbling now, so see you on the next one. Thank you very much. Ta-da!